Welcome everybody, whoever is watching this video. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm blessed and positive that you're going to learn something from this conversation. I have here in front of me somebody who's a legend, a living legend in the profession, the son of another great legend. And if it wasn't for this last name, the knee, chest, and the upper cervical world will be 100% destroyed. Is my belief. Okay, you can have your own belief, but I believe that Dr. Kale saved not only upper cervical specific, but he saved the knee, chest technique as well. Dr. Kale, welcome
Thank you
to
very much. Thank you very much.
this video. This conversation is going to be all about chiropractic, all about love, all about health. I have one question for you that I want to start with.
Okay.
What is your cosmovision for chiropractic in the next 100 years?
Well, it's not going to take 100 years. I can promise you that. When I'm associated with people like yourself, I've got a student here, Dalton Rios. But the big vision is to adjust the world back to health. You see my logo, and I believe when like-minded people that understand universal intelligence, understand innate, I believe we can put our heads together and we can make a bigger footprint on chiropractic than we've got right now. We're nearly 130 years old. I don't think we've made enough impact on the total health care of humanity. And for sure, I want to take another 100 years to do that. I don't have 100 years, okay? I got to get in warp speed right now. And so that's why I'm associating myself with people like yourself, with the person I've got here beside me.
So one of the strategies that your father used to use back in the day was adjusting worldwide to, I believe they went to Russia, I believe they went to Europe and other parts of the world. That's actually one of the reasons why we started doing mission trips to South America, inspired in the vision that Dr. Michael Kale had for chiropractic.
Right.
Is there any um, upcoming outside of the U.S. Ideas that you have in order to complete this version or complete this mission that you have as far as like bringing chiropractic to the world?
Well, there's a lot of interest all over the world, Dr. Kevin. I have people in Spain, doctors in Spain, doctors in Canada, people like yourself in Costa Rica, down south, that want to get together. Myself, you're right. We did missions trips where we would see 10,000 patients in 5 days. And the medical community in Russia, Moscow, different places would come behind. They would come with us. I mean, how do you think we're getting the patients? So I believe in foreign countries, we have the ability to unite quicker and sometimes with the medical community that will help us build mission trips. So to answer your question, yes. We're planning things in Spain. We're doing things now and collecting doctors to try to get together and get back to doing these mission trips, because they're very valuable, not only just for the public and for what we're doing with the adjustment, but it's a great time. I mean, when you can see 10,000 patients or you can adjust 1,000 yourself, imagine what that does for your skill set. Yeah.
Dr. Randy, what do you think is the biggest problem we're facing in the chiropractic profession as of today?
Too many egos. There's way too many egos, even within knee chest. Okay? If one person adjusts on the transverse process, another adjusts on the posterior arch, listen, I don't have no problems with that. I think we argue too much among ourselves. And it's just too many egos. I think that we have to put that down. We have to lay that down and say, hey, we're getting over all that nonsense. Okay. If you're adjusting people with your hands, if you're adjusting them chiropractically, we have to come together as a community and stop bashing each other. So you're asking me, what do I think one of the main problems is? I've seen it throughout chiropractic for 30 years with my dad And I still see it now. You can't come on and show your adjustment, adjusting a child or adjusting a person and going over how you're making the listing, and you get a chiropractor, a colleague I made an adjustment. I don't know, it's been about 2 weeks ago, and I was showing how we adjust our patients. And a chiropractor comes on there and calls me a quack. He said that's quackery. So you're asking me personally, what is the problem? That's the problem. I mean, come on, man. I'm about to lose it here. So that's the problem. We have to come into love and passion, not only for our patients, but for each other as our brotherhood in chiropractic. If we could just do that, come together and stop bashing each other, we'd grow 10 times quicker than we're doing now.
Yeah.
You agree with that, Dalton?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I see it. I hope you don't mind if I chime in for a second. Is that okay? So I'm in chiropractic school right now at Life University, and I see, I actually see in different groups, like there's different quarters, and the mindset is changing in the student community where some quarters, everybody is very cohesive. Everybody's like really into just learning everything from AK, Gonstead, knee chest, CDP, TRT, whatever else that there is, network. And everybody's really trying to get this broad spectrum of like, what is it in chiropractic that is working? And as to your point, like there's a lot of things that work in chiropractic, and with certain patients, you get certain outcomes. And, in some other classes, it's very divided. And so, we see this in our profession as well as in the medical community in chiropractic as well, where I also think that there's this new mindset after COVID happened globally, where now ordinary people are looking for a holistic solution to healthcare, and they want to be healthier.
You're right, and I believe that. We're right now at a threshold. We have an opportunity to strike. It is time for upper cervical chiropractors in general. This is a day that I've never seen, that we have an opportunity to make it big for who we are.
Right.
And so I totally agree with that.
Dr. Randy and Dr. Rios, if you want to chime in on this next question. Your dad used to have, Dr. Michael U. Kale used to have the red coats. I don't know if you remember those days, or if you had any memories, or if you had any any memories of those days. Do you see this cosmovision for chiropractic, you leading a similar group of people that are
Yes.
aligned with your vision of chiropractic?
Yes, I do. And I've got my dad's red coat in my closet along with mine. But my guys are going to be purple coats. Okay, they're going to be royalty, and that's what the red coats were back in that day, and they were the best of the best.
Can you explain what the red coat means for I don't know?
Well, my dad just loved red. If you looked at his, my dad built a castle and had his home, and his bedroom was nothing but red. I mean, he was just flamboyant. I mean, the man was just, when he spoke with charisma, and he just liked those flaring hot colors, so he picked red for the red coats. But, I see a bigger vision than just having 12 red coats. I want 112. I want 1,012. Purple coats. When people get a purple coat, they realize that is royalty. You are a royalty in the upper cervical chiropractic, and that you can see a picture of 50 or 100 purple coat doctors, and they can say, hey, we've been trained by the best. That's a big thing. And I respect you, Dr. Kevin, for reaching out to me. And Dr. Dalton, I'll call him Dr. Dalton right now. So, because if you don't hang out with the big guys that already done it, we can save y'all so much time in trying to go down a road that's going to lead you nowhere. Why in the world would somebody not have respect for the legacy of who I am and, who I was connected to? I'm Mike Kale's eldest son. I practiced with him for 15 years. I didn't work for him. I practiced side by side with the man. Then he practiced side by side with Dr. Sherman, which Sherman practiced with Dr. B.J. Palmer. I'm only 3 removed, like I've told you before, Dr. Kevin. That would make it kind of means to me is if Bruce Lee trained you to fight, okay, and you were only 3 removed from Bruce Lee, I'm pretty sure you could kick some ass. I mean, excuse my language, but I'm pretty sure you could. So I promise you, I understand upper cervical chiropractic. I got it. Okay. I've been there with the best of the best. I also trained with, intern with Dr. E.L. Crowder when I was at Palmer. I was fortunate to do that and got a lot of knowledge and instrumentation and, of course, the adjustment and x-rays that, a lot of people don't have. So I'm willing to put my heart and soul into this with you guys and teach you everything that I've learned. And I've told Dr. Dalton, okay, I'm going to teach you every single thing to do and the things not to do. And you need to know both of those.
You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if I sound wrong when I say this, but a lot of the chiropractors, the new age chiropractors, have drifted away from the principle and doing the things the right way as far as chiropractic goes because of the money situation. I feel like a lot of people find easier ways to make money in chiropractic when they do therapies, when they do lasers, when they do electrocutation, when they do hot and cold, etc. What is and I would add to that to then ask you the question is your father used to drive Rolls Royces around South Carolina, Spartanburg, if I'm not mistaken. They
You're
used
right.
to have like this big clinic. They used to make big money, right?
Right.
What would you say, or if you had a student, a first quarter student or a first year doctor, if you had him in front of you, what would you tell him as far as the financials in chiropractic?
Well, the thing I love about knee chest, you can see 100 patients a day. Now, understand this. I've never been against using therapies. Okay. And some of the upper cervical doctors will drag me behind horses over this, but you've got a sick practice, a neurological practice, and you have a pain practice or an injured practice. And that's the way I always thought about it. Okay. So I didn't want to ever lose any revenue to the medical system. I wanted a patient to come in, and if they needed E-stim or they needed a soft wave or they needed something, they were injured, okay, or they were in pain or they were an athlete, that I had a department for that we understood, you know, what that was supposed to do. And then we also had our neurological side where we had epileptics, we had tic-douloureux, we had facial neuralgia, we had all these other problems that we understood that was our sick practice, and we utilized the knee, chest, upper cervical way. So to answer your question, to build a big facility like my father did, which we had the only license to see patients 24 hours a day, just like a hospital. We had to have a nursing staff. I was responsible for doing what I call after we finished up at the end of the day in our practice, I would have to do a 7 o'clock check. That means I would go through the people that were from all over the world in our hospital situation. As far as Como, Italy, with the furthest people were coming for all kind of conditions, I would have to go back at 7 o'clock, do their check, scan them, call my dad. What do you think I should do? Adjust them or not adjust them? Then I'd go back at 10 o'clock at night. I did this for years. So to build a facility like that, I'm proud to say that you can still do that. You can see high volume in knee, chest, and upper cervical. And you know what? You can do your therapies and understand that you've got a practice that's in pain and it's been injured, and you don't have any problems with Dr. Randy Kale. I won't drag you behind horses. You know what? You're thinking business, okay? You're thinking multi-million-dollar practices. Now I just caught down in Florida to mention his name, Dr. Rick Means and his son. They've got $1 million clinics. He's got $3 million clinics. All right. And so they're doing very well just doing knee, chest, and they have incorporated in soft wave and some other therapies into their offices, and they are helping the sickest of the people. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I'd love to chime in if that's okay.
Go ahead.
this is what I specialize in right now. I help chiropractors. I've been helping with my uncle, Dr. Fred Domenico. We got with elite coaching, but we help chiropractors create their businesses and their models where not every chiropractor wants to see high volume. Not every chiropractor, I just spoke with a student the other day where she wants to be a mother, and I was trying to figure out how am I supposed to be a mother as well as have a practice because her husband's not a chiropractor. So, for me, it's all about getting clear on what your goals and targets are for every aspect of your life. I'm creating a course right now where we go through what would you like to do with your family? What are your family goals? Do you have recreation? Do you have community goals? How far would you like your wealth to go? Do you want to take care of your mother or your children? So for me, figuring out what lifestyle that you'd like to have with you and your family and in your community, and what is your goal as a doctor? Are you trying to heal the sickest people that are on the planet? Are you trying to have more of a family-based practice? Are you trying to, it depends on what your goals are. And I think it's easy to reverse engineer the financial aspect of running a business when you're clear on those goals.
Well, and I'll say this, the thing about it, we all want to be successful. There's many ways to make money. But Dr. Kevin, what you're doing down there and the people that you're seeing, the type of cases that you're seeing, I believe that this upper cervical knee chest technique, and I was talking to Dalton about this earlier, you need to incorporate this. People and doctors need to incorporate this technique, because your children, what are you going to do when they get sick? What are you going to do when your family gets sick? We all can make money. You can make money. We're talking about being successful, but I'm going to tell you the biggest success that I have in my testimony is myself, keeping myself through what I call spark fuel air. All right. And that's getting the adjustment, making sure I'm eating superfoods, making sure that I'm breaking a sweat in my exercise 3 times a week. People got to realize there's a lot more to the trinity or the tripod of health than just the adjustment. We've got to come together and also be taught that we need to put that trinity together in our understanding, and that we can teach our patients that. But my point of it is, I'm proud that I'm well. My family's well. My grandkids are well. They want to be chiropractors. They go around. I mean, they love it. They love to be adjusted. So that's the biggest thing that I'm proud of. Not about the millions, okay, that you make and all the success. That really, and only until you get a sick person, only until you get someone in your family that's has a healthcare issue, that's a problem that you can fix. All right, then you'll realize how important and passionate I am about making sure that you're at the brain stem, okay, where all function is. That's where we need to be, not down below here somewhere else. We need to be here at the brain stem. My dad knew that. Sherman knew it. BJ knew it. I know it. And you guys too know it.
I think you gentlemen have said pretty revolutionary things, because that would open the door for people that are interested in doing all the other stuff, but not forgetting about the real main thing that chiropractors do. So I appreciate that, for kind of like breaking the paradigm of like upper cervical docs are like this closed-minded assholes that don't want to accept other things that are out there to help people. So I appreciate that, and making sure that we tell that to the people.
Well, Dr. Kevin, just think about this. Does it not make common sense if you just got a little bit of brain cells, okay? If you don't get the point that Dr. BJ Palmer, we wouldn't have a chiropractic license right now if it wasn't for him. He wrote 40 books, 40 volumes. He had $1 million clinic back in the 30s, okay? If you go back and look at all the research years and what that man has done for our profession, and if you don't believe what Dr. Palmer said, this is the way I get adjusted, this is the way I adjust my patients, and this is what I did for 16 years. Why would we just avoid that and just say, oh, Palmer, I ain't going to go back to 1950 or 1930s. I'm not going to believe that. To me, that makes no sense. That man was an icon in chiropractic. I wanted my dad, when he graduated from school, he said, "There's so many different techniques. What am I going to do?" He pinned it down and he said, "I want to know what the man did." It's like reading in the Bible when you see the red letters, what the Lord said, what Christ said. My dad said, I want to read what the man had to say. I don't want to hear what everybody else had to say. The Dr. Oranges, he'd call it the Dr. Blues and Dr. This. I want to know, what did the man say and how did he practice? And what I'm saying is, if you want to incorporate in other things in your practice, that's fine. But don't put this to a side. Don't act like there's no validity to it, that there's no anything backing that. We would not be who we are today without Dr. Palmer and his work. And nobody's more closely aligned to that that's alive today. I'm 64. I've been adjusted knee chest for 64 years. I've been adjusted by Dr. Sherman. I've been adjusted by, of course, Dr. Michael Kale. I was his chiropractor, Dr. Michael Kale's chiropractor. So I know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. And we just can't, that can't be disputed, in my opinion, like I said, to begin with. If you just got one little brain cell, you need to get that understanding.
So before I came to Colombia, one of the things I made sure was to bring a few green books with me, and including the volume 18 and 25. Of course, those are the great pieces right there. Yep, the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
So usually people like to do this at the end of the interview, at the end of the conversation, but I want to do it mid-conversation right now in case somebody's interested. Where and how can they reach you? And also, do you have anything going on as far as like seminars, any important dates or anything coming up, Dr. Randy?
Well, go to drrandykale.com. All right. Like I said, we've got our new website up. Again, calling Dr. Dalton, but my man over here, and they're working on helping me even perfect this more. So that's where I would go to. That's a resource. You can email me. All my contact information is drrandykale.com. And we're working on a conference right now. It's going to be coming up here pretty soon. So all those details will be on the website. So I'm just saying, if you want to find out any contact information or what we're doing in the next month or two, drrandykale.com.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that info. So Dr. Randy Kale and Dr. Rios, I came to Colombia bringing the mission of chiropractic. We do service trips where we serve jails, churches, schools, etc. What would you say to a student or a first-year chiropractor or a 10-year chiropractor who's interested in participating on a service trip, somebody who's willing or who's interested in learning something new and applying it right then and there? What would you say to that person who's interested?
Well, hey, I would say, tell me what date you want me to show up. I would say, tell me a date. Give me a date and give me an opportunity, and it can make it happen from there. What part of Colombia are you in?
We're actually at the north portion of Colombia, in Barranquilla, a city like Miami.
Okay.
Hot and humid like Miami. Yep. But as far as like somebody getting ready to experience or to learn the knee chest, or like, because the knee chest, just the position alone, it's a different style, different approach to the adjustment. Some people are like almost afraid, right? Almost afraid of learning the technique because of the biomechanics that are involved. What would you say to somebody? Because I've received comments from students and people that are just not willing, or they're like fearful of applying the technique. Is there anything that you would like to tell these people that have many fears or anything like that?
Well, I'll say this. In all the years that I've been in practice, nearly 37 years, we've never had one incident. I've never had one lawsuit. I've never had any issues with this adjustment. I've got to tell you what I get issues with. How about that linear adjustment? You're laying somebody flat on their back, wrapping a towel around their head, and you're just you're yanking their neck for no reasons. Okay, that's what people need to be, weary of. Not turning your head where you're not having to worry about, did you over rotate the head? Your head's already laid down there, and all you're doing is applying a simple chiropractic maneuver, okay, that has been proven over time from our very father of chiropractic. He said that was the way to adjust. So if you've got someone like that man, who's our father of chiropractic, saying it's safe, it works, it's at the brain stem, you can get to the worst of the worst patients. Go to this book right here and look in the back of it and see the 5,000 cases, okay? What kind of cases they were seeing in the BJ Palmer Research Center. Dr. Sherman told my dad, he said, Mike, when people would come into the BJ Palmer Research Center to fill out their paperwork, to come into the clinic, he said they would drop dead, okay? They'd have to take them out on the gurney. That's the kind of sickness and illness that true chiropractic is all about. It's not about all the pain, okay? And I can tell you right now, it is one of the most safest, and I know that, like I said, because I practiced it for 37 years. And with my father, we've never had any incidents, okay? We're adjusting babies this way, we're adjusting children this way, and we're seeing tremendous results. So the safety of it, I don't think you're going to find any safer technique that there is.
Yeah, I think also too that to directly go, hey, if you have the situation where you're like with a student or somebody who's nervous, I mean, just communicating with them, hey, what is it that you're nervous about? I mean, I think a lot of the times, just having a simple conversation with somebody, sometimes they just see stuff on the internet or they hear a story. And the thing that is most prevalent to me is that when we talk to the public, the public knows a chiropractor. In the chiropractic profession, we understand that there are many ways to be a chiropractor. And what the medical profession has done very well is segregate what each level of medicine that someone practices. You have a podiatrist who's not the same as a urologist, who's not the same as a neurologist. There's a segregation that the medical community has made, and the public is aware of it. And in chiropractic, I feel like we understand as doctors very clearly what's what, but not all the patients really do. They just understand the chiropractor. So when you're talking to somebody who has some sort of a fear or a hesitation, they may be associating you as a chiropractor with something else that they saw and think that it's the same thing.
I totally agree, Doc, on that. Hey, just a second, Dr. Kevin, my granddaughter walked in. I want you to, I want to introduce you to her.
Come in.
Ask her what she thinks about chiropractic. Turn around there, and Reagan. This is my granddaughter right here, and she knows about spark, fuel, and air. She knows how to eat healthy. And tell us about that knee chest adjustment.
It was really good.
It was really good? Oh, yeah. And she gets her adjustment. She loves them. And look at this beautiful child right here. She's been adjusted since how long, baby? So
My whole life.
yeah, that's okay.
Amen.
And does this adjustment hurt? Does it hurt you? No, it doesn't hurt you. Okay. Stand up, baby. Show it in you. Look at this girl. Look, she's in best shape in the world. All right. It's my granddaughter. And so people that you're saying is what's the testament to people that think, oh, this procedure, they're afraid of that? What are they afraid of? Look at this child right here. And all my grandchildren, okay, I've got fixing to have the 7th one. This due today or tomorrow, okay, so I should have another today. But anyway, 2 of my grandboys are named after me, named Randolph. My dad named me that for a specific reason. Go to the bigness of the fellow within, you'll see why I was named Randolph. But anyway, I'm just proud to bring her over here for just a second. Tell the whole world hello, honey. Okay. All right. Go ahead and have a seat. Get Dr. Dalton back over here. All right, Dr. Kevin, shoot some more questions at us.
Okay, so 3 words that you use in your brand new redesigned logo. I want to know why. Spark, fuel, and air. What does those 3 words mean to you,
Okay.
Dr. Randy?
All right. The spark, here's what I do. When a new patient comes into me, I tell them the power in your vehicle that got you here had to have 3 elements. You had to have a good spark. That means your electrical system in your car, when I say your spark plugs were firing like they're supposed to. You had to have good fuel. That means you needed not to have contamination or water in your fuel. All right. You need to have good octane. And number three is you need to have an air system where you've got a carburation system that can suck enough down air into the chamber where you get an implosion and you get a power source. So you have to have spark, fuel, and air. Our cells in our body, 10 trillion cells, work the same way. All right. Your body needs spark. That means the cells need to have electrical information. They need to have fuel, which in my opinion is, superfoods. And when I say a superfood, I mean, if you look at the ORAC score, oxygen radical absorption capacity, you can test this in a test tube and it will tell you a fruit or a vegetable, how quickly they will neutralize free radicals in our body. And we need to make sure that we're eating good superfoods, that we are neutralizing free radicals, which cause inflammation. So I teach my patients that. Then I make sure that they're exercising. When I say exercising, that they didn't just say I went for a walk. Then I asked them, did you break a sweat? Did you sweat on your forehead? If you do that, that means your heart rate got fast enough that you started secreting encaphalons, all right, and different other hormones that are very, very endorphins that are very good for you. So, I think as chiropractic, we need to enhance that. We need to embrace that with our patients. Let me just tell you something. This is a sad point. My dad died at 61 years old. He was the best adjusted human being on the earth. He thought you could eat Vienna sausages and it would turn to broccoli, okay, if you were well adjusted. He wouldn't exercise, okay? I couldn't get him to do those things. Why do you think I'm so passionate about spark, fuel, and air? Because I realized, hey, it's not just about the adjustment. So you've got to embrace this. And our patients need to be embraced that. And who in the world is the best person to tell them that? The chiropractor. We need to be teaching our patients that, because that will keep them coming back to us. When you realize now, in my practice, the people that understood the Trinity, the spark, fuel, and air, they never got sick hardly. They just come in I had patients that were marathoners, the best athletes, and I couldn't get them eating right, or they wouldn't get their adjustments. That tripod would just trip over because you had that one leg out of the three, the spark, fuel, and air, that they couldn't get down. But you get a patient that understands all three of them, you're going to have a practice that's going to, you're talking about it exploding. That's how you build $1 million practice. Getting them to understand what I'm talking about, spark, fuel, and air.
Spark, fuel, and air. Wow, what an amazing way to make somebody understand the entire sense of chiropractic. Is there anything you want to add, Dr. Rios, to this?
Hey, I really love the idea that health can be more than chiropractic. Absolutely, exercise and nutrition is part of it. I am a huge proponent of spirituality, regardless of what, or if some sort of foundation where there's energy, and you're talking about how we all interact. Community, absolutely. That's what's so cool about being in a practice that's big, is coming for the community. I've met chiropractors all over the world, and I hear stories. People drive 4 hours from the middle of nowhere just to get their adjustment every week, one way. They're committing a whole day just for an adjustment every week. And a lot of this is the human touch, and you've talked about this as well, where some people, that's the only touch that they get. They're home by themselves. Maybe they have an animal or something like that. But part of healing each other is human connection. And our mind has so much to do with how our body heals as well. And this is why the medical profession uses a human brain. Is the power of the human brain stronger than a pharmaceutical drug? And this is the placebo test. It's the most fascinating thing to me, to think that the medical industry goes, is this drug more powerful than someone's belief that they're healing?
Well, and he hit on a good point. totally agree with all that. What he's saying is, Kevin, what he said about the touch, that's one of our five senses. We can't, as chiropractors, get away from the touch and laying our hands on our patients with our hands too. Okay, think about this. What do? You hold your girlfriend's hand, don't you? You hold a girlfriend's hand. You don't put something between it. Let's just take a pen or a piece of glass and hold hands like that. You want to hold hands. Let me just tell you something. It's one of the five senses. It's important that we have our hands. The apostle went about laying on hands, healing the sick. All right. They weren't writing prescriptions. All right. And so I'm just saying, and another thing I say, you get on that spiritual side. Here's what I love about knee chest, Dr. Kevin. I get down on my knees, all right, for my Lord, and he figures everything out for me spiritually. I get down on my knees, on my knee chest, and bam, I got everything figured out with my physical life. He's just made it so simple, you see. So for me as a knee chest chiropractor, and I've opened up some of my seminars before like that. I get down on my knees and, for my spiritual side, get down on my knees for my physical side. Makes it very easy.
Wow, that was amazing. That was a perfect segue for this final question for you guys here, and you can chime in as well, Dr. Rios. Thank you so much for that comment that you did. You recently posted a picture of four legends together. It was Dr. Michael Kale, I believe it was Dr. Thompson, Fred Barch, and Sid Williams.
Yes. Wasn't that awesome?
That was a great picture.
I got a lot of posts from that, a lot of feedback from that. I said, does anybody know this clan right here? And buddy, people knew exactly who that was. That was, but you guys have got to understand this to finish up here, Dr. Kevin. I'm pointing here. I'm pointing to you. And I'm pointing to this young man here. Y'all are the next generation of what can change the world, adjust the world back to health. Okay. I'll give you guys my logo, whatever I got to do. I ain't gonna be here. I can't live forever. I might under this procedure, but I'm just saying, you guys have to take this energy. You have to take this passion, and you'll remember these days. One day you'll remember. I got to sit here. This man got to sit here with myself. Okay, I got to lay my hands on him. We got to talk about chiropractic and how we're going to adjust the world back to health. I got doctors in Costa Rica having enough respect for the legacy to call me up and say, hey, I need to get you on here. All right. But you've got to understand this. My days are limited. All right. You guys right now, y'all are the force right now that's going to get up and really change humanity. And I love the fact that y'all come together. I appreciate you guys. And I'm always here. Whatever you need, y'all have got my phone number. You've got my website. And anybody that knows me knows I pick up my phone. I answer my phone. And if you got any questions, I'm here for you.
So I was gonna say to that point, when you posted that picture, I foresaw myself next to you, maybe next to Dr. Rios, and like making some type of like Avenger group that is trying to revamp.
Okay.
That is trying to revamp not only the knee chest technique, because I believe that Dr. Michael Kale did that for us, but in order I'm talking about like adjusting the world back to health, like you mentioned in your slogan. So I do appreciate the time that you gentlemen invested in chiropractic today, talking to not only me, but for whoever listens to this conversation. And I just want to ask you if you can leave us with some parting words of wisdom for whoever is watching this. What would you like to tell that person?
Go ahead, doctor.
Well, we have the best opportunity to globally right now to make an impact on the health of the world. And it all starts, to me, with self-empowerment. Hey, people are out there looking to help themselves, and they want a voice. So this is what we're doing on this podcast, is creating leaders. That's what we need is a group of leaders, regardless of if you feel qualified or not. We have to create a community together so we can qualify each other and rise together. And this is really it. We gotta, like you said at the beginning of the podcast, you know, we can have our beliefs, but the ultimate purpose is helping each other.
Well, and that's so true. And in closing, here's what I would recommend: get around people that legends that are doing it and have done it. And you look at the way they look, the way they talk, all right, the way their practices are. You get around the successful people that got, just like I put my grandchild up here. These are the real people that you need to be hanging around with, not all these salesmen trying to sell you everything to try to make you a little bit more money. Okay, I want to see the real deal. You're down here with me right now. You see this child. I can bring all of them up here. The point of it is, get around people that can give you accurate advice, not a bunch of puffery. Get around the real dudes. All right. If you want to be a warrior, you want to be a gladiator, like I've told you, I've talked to Dalton about it. I'm a gladiator. I want to be in the arena with the blood and the gore. I want to be in the fight. I don't want to be up in the stands watching it. For what I believe in, I want to live and die on my sword, and I want to be in the fight for chiropractic. Randolph out.
I feel like the true testament of a man is his life itself, right?
There you
can
go.
talk all you want, but if you don't have the proof, and I think the proof is in the pudding, and I think you are a very well representation of that same exact thing. You walk the walk, Dr. Kales, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you for always, and I say that I want it to be here on record. You have always answered your phone. You have always answered my text messages. You have always answered the invitations, and I know that you are true and you are honest to the purpose of chiropractic, which is to bring back people to the greater health that they can get to. So I
Amen, brother.
appreciate you guys for
Thank you very
being
much
here
for that.
today.
Yeah, there's a kind words, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
So thank you for watching. We're gonna be having more conversations of this. Maybe next time we'll focus more on the technique, and we'll give you guys
Okay.
maybe pointers as far as like what to do and what not to do when you're doing the adjustment. I think that'll be a great way to invite people not only to the technique but to get deeper into chiropractic.
Okay, buddy. That sounds great.
And if you have anything else to say.
We're good. I think we've said about enough, but
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
yeah, we appreciate you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the recording. I'll see you guys sometime soon.
Okay. God bless you.
Bye. God bless.
Bye. All right, but I think that went well. What do you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
think?
great. Crushed it.